So I made this, but it didn't always look that great. So how did I go from this to a lovely end result? Well, it started with lots of paint colors and a toned canvas. My first step was to paint the background. This took several layers of ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, Payne's gray, a bit of white, and just a touch of magenta. I then started working on the white tiger. I started with a very thin purple wash and then used lots of blues, magenta, Payne's gray, burnt umber, and small bits of white to paint the tiger. I didn't use any pure white paint until the final highlights and the whiskers, otherwise he wouldn't have looked three-dimensional and he would have looked very flat. So on the orange tiger, I used many shades of brown because orange tigers aren't actually orange. So to paint him, I used my own various mixtures of browns that I made myself, along with burnt umber and burnt sienna. And I shaded the tiger with magentas, Payne's gray, and a bit of, I believe, ultramarine blue. I'd now like to offer my thoughts on the title of the video, Acrylics Are Hard, which is accurate, at least for me. Acrylics are very hard to paint with. They dry, it seems like as soon as you put paint to canvas, either the paint on your brush is dry or the paint on your palette is dry. So you have to find a right balance of water, and that's a challenge in and of itself because if you make the paint too watery, then it doesn't do what you want. It goes everywhere, or it's too thin, but you also need the water to help it flow better. They're much more difficult than oils. Oils, the hardest part about them for me is just knowing when to stop so you don't create muddy textures. But acrylics, with their super fast drying time, are convenient, but I found on this piece that if I had done it in oils, despite having to wait for it to dry for a couple days, it would have taken a lot less time. So yes, for me, acrylics are hard. So that's it for this piece. It took me a year of painting on and off to complete. It's 18 by 24 inches and 100% acrylic paint.